I saw a meme, tradie business owners that are forced to become content creators.
It was just after COVID. I would just sit at night just adding people to my business page.
Did you enjoy your apprenticeship?
The same old shit, bullying. Shot at with bloody finishing guns and
horrible.
You'd be picking nails out of the back of your cars.
Why is Brisbane so busy, man?
There's like 7,000 people coming to Queensland every week or something. That is a lot of money running around that way.
Mitchell Reedon, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Brisbane, born and bred?
Yep, born and bred.
Yeah. Went to school here?
Yep, went to Ferny Grove, so about, just on the north side, about 25 minutes away from here.
Have you always had easy pickings for work? Like, have you always had an abundance of potential jobs?
I think it's always been constant from when we first went out on our own. It's kind of just been a steady kind of flow, and then even the last 2 years, since the social media things really kicked off and people know us, it's certainly been an increase in people contacting us for work. You might get 2 or 3 big renos every 3 weeks across your desk.
Sure.
But it's just finding the time, obviously, to then quote it all. And
RapidQS, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm God's gift to builders, bro. I'm
at a point where I should just try this and just give it away to us. There you go.
You'll be pleasantly surprised, bro. I'm telling you right now.
No, I'd be happy because, it would take a lot of my plate.
Cool, man. Shout out RapidQS. When did you guys start your social media? And do you actually notice a direct sort of result into jobs?
It was just after COVID. We really went on the social media, and I would just sit at night just adding people to my business page and just getting followers that way and just drumming it up like that. I'd lay in bed at 8:30, just and then out of the 300 people you'd follow, you might get 100 back, and you're okay, and then you just keep doing that every now and again, and it would grow and grow and grow. And then one of the first jobs we had was a friend of mine, and she had moved to home. She had an Instagram for her property, Daisy Cottage. And from that, she'd tag me and, do the videos and blah, blah, blah. And it would just really grew from that. So people would be like, oh, we saw you working on Daisy Cottage, this and that. And then it got to the point, on the Monday morning, you'd go on your Instagram and you'd be like, right, guys, we're going to Daisy, we're going to Sage, we're going to Nudgy Nest, we're going, all these properties that all have their own
Instagram accounts.
Yeah, Instagram
and then
accounts.
You're getting tagged on.
Yeah. And then it just grew from there. And now it's just oh, we see you on Instagram, we see you on here, we've done you see your work on that page, blah 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 blah. It just grew organically through that way. And then I think we get most of our work through our Instagram page. And then the jobs that they've seen us do, we really show all our work, the nitty gritty, from the start to finish. We'll show all how things are progressing, what's happening on site today, this and that. We don't just show
finished product.
The finished product.
Yeah, it's a daily time lapse.
Yeah. We really take people who will watch, take it through from start to finish, and show exactly what goes on. And
do you get a lot of people asking during that process stuff,
I think a lot of people ask oh, how much does that cost, or what's involved there, how hard is it to do that, and then they kind of I guess they see what we post and go, oh, we could do something similar to that
their property.
And it's been really beneficial to us because I think we've really grasped that little niche there, and nice. people I like chatting with them too. So if someone does hit me up in the DMs, I'll be like, oh yeah, rah, rah, rah. I like talking about work and chatting away. And if they got a question, they don't just sit there.
And it could result in a $50,000 renovation.
Yeah, exactly,
so
exactly right.
I saw a meme the other day. It was tradie business owners that are forced to become content creators now. But it's so true, man. You have to do it, otherwise,
I've got the Top Bill page. I've got my own property Instagram page as well. So you bounce off those two as well. So that has their own little followers that then see Top Build, and then it all just goes from there.
What's the other property page about?
My own home.
Oh, okay.
So
because a builder's house is never finished, right?
Yeah, well, ideally this one will be.
Yeah.
I'm sick of paying for it.
Yeah. So you're just putting all your daily updates and stuff on there and what you're doing?
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah. And people do because we have a pretty high retention rate with our employees as well. So people see the same guys every day, and it's kind of like, oh,
they feel like they're a part of the whole shebang.
Yeah, and they'll be like, oh, where's Kevin today? Where's this person today? They'll
Kevin's on a fucking sick day.
yeah, exactly. That's one of the running jokes too, because Kevin does go walking about for 2 weeks.
That's so funny. So how many guys you got on the tools at the moment?
There's 5 of us.
Yeah, and one other question out of that segment there: do you pay for any marketing, or are you just all organic?
Just all Instagram.
Good, eh?
It's Instagram or the t-shirt. That's all we have.
That's so cool, man. Are your trucks and vehicles signed?
No.
Just IG and shirts.
Yeah.
That's good,
That's
man. What's like the average kind of job you're doing at the moment? What's the average kind of job value that you're doing in projects?
Mainly just do Queenslander renos. And I enjoy it. I don't go looking for new homes or places older than like 1980 or something like that, because it doesn't interest me. Like, double brick homes and 2-story brick homes like that. Yeah, I'd
go to
rather
London and do that shit.
Yeah, I'd rather just stick with the working with timber, the history and all the heritage around it, and I just enjoy it more.
Do you feel like because you work for the same kind of job, you get the same type of clients?
Especially Queenslanders, people kind of treat them as like an extension of their family. So it's kind of like, oh, this is, Sage, she's a 90, right? And they all talk like it's someone else part of the family.
It's like a relic to the family.
Yeah. They've all got this like connection now to this house, and they all go looking up like the history of the property, and find out about like who used to live there and blah 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 blah. Like, you don't get that with the houses, from 1970 onwards. People don't, they
don't give a shit.
No,
and everyone just buys and sells, but people hold on to
but those older homes like have that rich history, and it's kind of like part of like Brisbane and Queenslander are those old homes.
How did you get into just doing Queenslander homes? Like, did you just get one job through your apprenticeship, or when you were finished, and then you kind of just thought, I'm just going to stick with these?
As an apprentice, or fresh out of my time, it was just that's where we were kind of landing all the time.
So that's what you did during your apprenticeship mainly?
Yeah, mostly. Probably did a year at the start of like new homes, and like this just wasn't for me, like that fast paced shoot 'em up,
Were you just doing volume build stuff?
Yeah.
That's shit though.
Yeah. I've got zero interest in that. It's a whole different vibe, and
it's just Lego, man, and it's who's the cheapest and the cheapest,
exactly. You've always got to be, jammed to the gills, fastest pace. Nah.
Yeah. So then what was there like one project in mind, and you were like, damn, I'm just going to stay at these?
You take a wall down, and, you might find, some old coins or, whatever it is. And it's like all that history.
Newspaper stuff.
All the newspaper underneath the lino and all that stuff like that. That, just interests me.
Cool, eh?
Like, sometimes I wish I just wish I could go to like the UK and like take a metal detector and go looking around for treasure, because it's just one of those weird dorky like things. I'm like, I'd really like to do.
You're
that.
not the guy at the beach on the weekends.
No, I wouldn't do that. And finding people's old rigs and like
just in the
paper clips. No, like proper shit.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So do you do like when you're doing this work? What's like your are you just doing this on fixed price charge up? Because I imagine the scope on those jobs changes all the time.
The job we've been doing just recently over at Ascot, well, we've been there for a year now, and that's all cost plus. We took that over.
1 year?
And we took that over from another builder.
Yeah.
Who had just done the dodgy, had been like taking the piss out of them for about 18 months. So we came over onto that one, and it was kind of like, I can't quote this because I don't know what's being done or what hasn't been done or what has to be fixed, and so it was kind of like just cost plus. But I think cost plus jobs are better for the client anyway.
Yeah,
because exactly
more trust and transparency, I think.
Well, yeah, and they know exactly what they're getting charged, and like every week, you send your invoice out, it has all the the invoices and the trades, everything laid out. It's all there, in black and white. Yeah. And it just costs what it costs. Where like a fixed price, you might have a little bit of fat here and there to cover some things, or
unforeseens and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm on the fence about both. Obviously, from an estimating perspective, I'm always like, obviously, if the client's not happy, you're not going to get the job anyway as a builder, and the builder needs work. So my pros and cons are fixed price is good because the client gets a fixed number. They know it's like a safety mechanism for them. But then also for the builder, cost plus is good and bad. The only bad thing I see for the builder is they could get picked apart on hours. I'm just like, old Kevin was sick for 2 days and he ducked in here and did this.
All they do is they know exactly how much they're being charge every single day. So if there is that lull of, blokes like standing around, like, they know how much that's costing them.
So, but these like renovation jobs, are the clients at home most of the time, or are they out working?
They're in their late 70s. So they're
there
all day, every day.
Do Does that annoy you? Or you
No,
don't mind?
not really. Like I guess like when you're doing a reno or you're doing a job for someone, they're living there, you do become part of the furniture.
Yeah,
like you're part of the family. You see them more than you see your
Bro,
own
if
family.
you've been there for a year.
Yeah,
It's a lot
exactly.
of
So it's kind of just like,
9 hours a day.
yeah, you just
45 a week.
turn up, how you going?
So is that everyone there for 1 year, or do you have a few jobs on at a time?
That job, it was mostly everyone on there for the whole year.
Man, what were you doing? That's
Ah,
like
everything.
full internal. You're extending the footprint as well, or just okay.
But the problem with too, like that older builder, he was doing all this work without certification, without approvals. So we had to go back, get it all
up to spec.
Yeah.
Proof that stuff was done properly.
Yeah, exactly. Get all the plans certified, do it all. So it was just like there was 4 months before all that happened that we were just going back and like fixing stuff.
Jesus,
and
what did that cost that client? 4 months of.
I think they're at like 1.6 now
for the whole job.
Yeah.
Wow.
But again, like they had their idea that it would cost them 800, but that's nothing.
That's blowing out of the water now.
Yeah, but like 800 grand wouldn't get you anywhere close to what they've done anyway in this current climate. So it's kind of like,
Yeah. There's with Queensland, there's a lot of like pre-machined timber stuff cut to custom made.
Well, this job, like everything was custom. They had like, to match what was there already. We did 3 gables, and each gable had, paddle pop details. We had to router them all out. We had to do custom fascias. The soffites were all custom as well. So it was like everything it was just man hours and labor just making.
Do you guys make all that stuff on site with table saws and that? Yeah. And then you don't run them through to a yard to machine?
No, we did it all by hand.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, we had Chippy Jake working for us at the time, and that's his bread and butter. He just loves that stuff. And he was there for, the weeks or whatever it was, just machining each individual piece and getting jigs and things. And it was really good.
And good luck quoting that.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, I think, by the time, all those gables were done, it would have been like close to 20 grand worth of like labor just to make these gables, and it's just ridiculous. Like, imagine sitting in your office, like, I don't know how long. Just assuming how long each thing would take, and
1 lineal meter here, 10 there. Tough.
So something like that, it obviously gets a bit harder then.
So you're married? You got a couple kids?
Married. So it'd come up to our 1 year anniversary next month. Thank you. Got a 2.5-year-old, and we have another coming end of next month.
Nice. Does the wife work in the business?
She works 4 days a week at her own like accounting firm as a practice manager, and then she does like our stuff after work. Yeah. So she's pretty busy.
Who was doing all that before she was doing it? Did you have an accountant? You were doing it?
Nope. It was just I was just going by the seat of my pants. And
have you ever owed the ATO lots of money?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, same. It's a good learning curve.
Yeah. I think about 30 grand.
Yeah.
That I got to, but with the missus being accountant, it works out.
That's nice.
It's I am definitely lucky to have her, and I certainly wouldn't be where I am now without her, because I'm not that way minded.
You just want to do carpentry.
Like I would be, paying however much I would pay for a proper accountant, be doing all the work, and then I probably would it wouldn't happen. I know it wouldn't happen because I know what I'm like, and I'm like, I'll get there. But she's all over everything. Like nothing's missed. All supers, travel allowances, everything is.
How do you run your boys or your crew? Is everyone on wages, contract? How do you run it?
Everyone's just on ABN, just contract.
Oh, contract. Yeah. Do you ever have like kind of lulls, quiet periods, or are you pretty stacked?
No, I don't think there's been a point where I've gone, I've got nothing for you.
Man.
So we've always kept the boys busy.
Why is Brisbane so busy, man?
I think I read something. There's like 7,000 people coming to Queensland every week or something, or every fortnight, just from interstate.
That's a lot of people, man.
Yeah, I think it's just because what people can sell their house for in Sydney. Like last year, 18 months ago, they could buy a real nice house. There's a lot of money running around that way. And I think a lot of the things now too, like coming out of COVID, I think the 2 to 3 years ago when all the material costs and everything were going sky high.
You had nothing on fixed price during then? Nice. Safe place.
So when everything was going crazy, and people were still doing the whole keeping up with the Joneses thing, we found a lot of people like, spending 30, 40, 50 grand with architects, getting these fang dangle plans. And then when it came to actually get it quoted, they're like, oh, well, we can't afford that.
Yeah, that's crazy. So
and like, cause I think everyone was like, the architects and everything was still backing like that old pricing guide. And they were like, yeah, it should be, this much money, this much. And
had no clue that by the time all the new material costs come out.
Yeah. And like, well, even now, jobs that would have cost $450 like 18 months ago are now costing $650, $700.
Crazy, yeah. Do you, when people inquire with you, do you try and give them ballpark figures, or do you kind of try and stay away from there?
Nowadays, I'm kind of like, what are you thinking this is going to cost?
Yeah.
Because like I can see a job, I can run it through, I'll go right, and then I have an idea, a pretty good idea in my head about how much things are actually going to cost, and like you'd be surprised at where some people are with what they imagine things would cost, and you're like, nah, this is like
miles out.
$1 million plus. They're like,
that must be
700.
I mean, that's a quick way to vet your clients,
Oh, 100%.
But then you obviously probably get 1 in 5 that's like, yep, cool, all good, happy to go.
You do get that. I don't know where it's coming from, because some of these people, like, they've just bought the property, which is at a high cost now already.
$1 million,
and then they're going to renovate it, and it costs just that much again to renovate it.
Obviously, a lot of people we talk to are just new build stuff, so it's all a lot of fixed rate stuff. Like, how do all your subbies work? Like, a painter's just on hourly rates? Are they putting in prices, or?
When I quote, so when I do my fixed price quotes, I just send it all out to my trades. I have one painter, I have one tiler, I have this, that. So I just send it out to them. They bring it back.
You never go to other subbies?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. I've spent 5-6 years getting to a point where I've got just those guys. And I think that's one of my selling points too.
Yeah.
When I go to clients, because, it's not me bringing up 6 blokes who I've barely got any relationship with,
it's very risky.
Yeah. Oh man, you come, can you do this next week? Can you do that in 2 weeks' time? Like, no, we're too busy. Whereas like, I'll ring up my guys. Hey man, this is happening now. Can you be there? Yeah. And it's, I'm not there worrying that they're not going to turn up. And you do form that, I guess, a bond with everyone, and everyone knows each other, and it all kind of just works. Yeah. Well.
So for like the one that you've been on for a year or whatever, like, are your plasterers and painters and that putting fixed prices in for that off rough square meter rates, or are they just coming to job cost plus hourly rate, materials plus a margin? Yeah, okay. So how many jobs a year would you say you're pricing, putting fixed price tenders out for?
I'd probably be doing 7 or 8 quotes, and we'd probably win 3
a year.
Yeah.
And that's enough to keep your guys 5.
Easy.
It's really nice.
Because
it's such a niche market, man. It's good.
You get your big job locked in, and then you fit in, your bathrooms and all that stuff in between, just to keep the cash flow going. Because there might be 2-6 weeks,
there's always lulls, man.
Between stage payments, so you've got something always coming in, and always feeding the account. So and then I usually have like 3 or so just jobs in the wings that like we've done like quotes for, that they're happy with, and then it gets to a point where you're like, all right, well,
you can kind of just start whenever, somewhat within reason.
We kind of go, right, like, we're finishing up this job in September, and this might be in like July. You're having this chat, and you're like, right, are you ready? Do you want to redo this quote, get this price sorted out, penciled, and then we can go from there. And then you do your re-quote, sharpen it up, and you go, this is where we're at. Because obviously time passes, things change. And then most of the time they're happy to go ahead. You lock that one in, and then you just keep it going that way.
Nice. A topic I like to ask everyone: do you price for free? Do you charge for quotes? What do you do?
I just price for free. Like, with our jobs, people approach us, and they've usually only just approached us.
They're kind of pre-sold.
Yeah. Like, they've seen what we do. They want, that same kind of result for their property.
They want Kevin there, man.
Yeah, they want Kevin there.
They want wandering Kev.
Yeah, exactly right. So I guess, like, there's been jobs where, like, and because I use the same blokes to quote, and like, I'll use the same house raiser every time. Like, he'll go to me, I've already priced this job 5 times, for other builders. And
wow.
Go, right, okay, cool. And that kind of vets it myself, because like, I'm not going to spend the time on something that I know that
they're just shopping.
Yeah, they're just shopping. and especially against 5 other builders, like what's the point? I think if I was charging for quotes, you're you then have to supply the quote.
I know you've got a deadline to fix it.
Yeah,
You've engaged in a contract.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like I can still kind of have that flexibility. Like you're too busy, and like I said, you can't be picky and choosy in this market, and if that will bite me in the butt eventually, I don't know. But currently, it hasn't.
I think more time invested up front is important. Otherwise, it's I suppose small similarity perhaps us with estimating. I know we can't go wrong if we let people know the expectations up front and spend more time talking about the project for them and just finding out every little nook and detail we can. Then
when it comes to like variations, and they just think like, you could just fit this in, or you could just just a little thing just to do now, where it's
tweak it in.
Yeah, it's like well, no,
it costs money.
moving that one thing. All right, okay, so you got the carpenters, you've got the plasterers, you've got the painters, you've got the sparky to move the power point, and that little like 2-minute job that you think is
takes
actually
5 people over the course of a week. 5 new vehicle charges, 5 more sites.
And they're like, why does it cost this much if it was just that? Because it's not just a quick, easy little thing. And like,
I think as long as you educate people well, though, and if they understand how many people it can take to do one small thing, then,
like that's why I try and be transparent and like go through the whole thing and like talk it from start to finish. But what actually has to happen,
people understand that.
Yeah. And like I have been lucky with like I haven't had anyone kick back on a variation and going, I'm not paying for that or anything like that. So, but like it's all vetting too at the start.
Absolutely.
Like you do get that vibe, you get that, if you want to work with someone, you kind of like, you feel it.
What's kind of like your daily schedule like at the moment? What's your, obviously between family, work, thing between sales and quoting, and what's kind of your daily schedule?
Well, this morning, it's usually up at like 5. We'll probably start waking up around 4.
Yeah. I've had bad sleep.
The missus likes to have like an hour or 2 just downstairs having a coffee before like our son wakes up. So she just likes to
you guys.
No, she'll just go down, have a little, have a little hour, just have a coffee, do a little, work or whatever she wants to do, and then I'll, just start like hustling up from there. And I usually get up about 5.
Straight into your yoga.
Yeah. Well, 2 minutes to get ready, out the door. Like today was like off to the building supplies, then over to Ashgrove to see the boys over there, then to Ascot to see the guys there, then to Cooperoo with the machine, work on that with the plumber and the labourer for however long, and then here.
Is that your digger?
No. Rent it? Yeah, I hired it from a mate. Yeah. We used to have one, but we had nowhere to store it after we moved to our new place, so it was kind of like just this awkward machine that you couldn't store anywhere close by. It's like
don't want it sitting on your driveway.
Exactly. There's only enough parking for like, you've already got a trailer and 2 cars. It just like,
it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. And it was up at my parents' place, which was like an hour and a half away. So every time you needed it, it was like 3-hour return to get the machine. And just like, nah.
Yeah. And then what do you like? Do you any other outside interest during the week? Do you go to the gym? Do you have any other anything? No?
Nope.
What are you into? What's your outside hobbies apart from work?
The only thing I really rarely do, when I do have time to do it, in between parenting and everything else, is I get into Warhammer. These little models that you put together and you paint, and there's like a whole game and all this stuff. And Henry Cavill's doing a movie about it now, so it's coming.
You're obsessed.
It's coming legit. It's coming legit soon. It's been around for like 30, 40 years.
Have you always been into it?
I was into it when I was like 12.
Way to keep a hobby going, man.
Well, I did it and then like dropped out because obviously you turn into like a partying socialite, and you haven't got time to be doing that, and you wouldn't be having your little Warhammer display over when like you're bringing girls home. So it kind of all just went dead.
It might have been a lady killer.
Yeah. So it went just completely flat.
Actually, I beg to differ. You've got a wife with a child.
Well, that's it. Yeah. But I wasn't doing that when I met her. It was when COVID hit, and there was like, what are we going to do? What are we doing? Because you couldn't go out, you couldn't do anything. And I was like, start Warhammer again.
Yeah. What were you like at school, man? Were you like an academic? Were you just into building stuff? Were you sport? What were you into?
Didn't do any like woodworking or anything like that in high school.
How did you fall into building then?
When I was 18 and finished high school, and I was working with my dad. He owned a printing company at the time.
Printing?
Yeah. So he used
like
to
t-shirt or like physical
like physical paper,
sign
like
print. Okay,
magazines and stuff like that. So I'd be on the big like presses, like running the machines and all that stuff like that. And It's pretty easy once you work it out. It's all bloody, you put your 4 colors in, you line up the 4 colors, and off you go print. And then I just got sick of it and started laboring with another mate of mine. And then my best mate at the time, he was doing a school-based apprenticeship, so he was a year younger than me. And I was like, oh, well, I can give it a go. And spent like 8 months looking for an apprenticeship because it was just out of the GFC, so everything was pretty slow.
Yeah.
So it was pretty hard to get an apprenticeship. And then I finally got it, and I just.
Did you enjoy your apprenticeship? Because I hated mine. Yeah, I hated mine.
I had a pretty hard time. I was like the runt of the litter, especially the new homes. Like I was only this kid.
Big company, small company?
Oh, there was like 6 of us. But it was like the same old shit. Bullying, blah 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 blah. So it was.
I used to get the ruler across the back of the legs, and I remember one day I was installing like a sheet of jib in a cupboard, and Jonesy came by and just went. Oof, back of my leg.
Shot at with funny finishing guns and
horrible.
You'd be picking nails out of the back of your car.
Picking Paslow brads out of your car. Yeah, character building.
Yeah. So it was tough, but yeah.
When you finally finished, did you just fuck off straight away? You're like, I'm done with this shit.
Well, that was only that first year with that volume builder, and then I kind of floated around other builders for about 2 or so years because I didn't really learn anything in that time. It was more,
I feel like the first 2 years you don't learn jack shit. No. You're just digging fucking holes, moving jib.
Exactly. And then, at the same time, I don't think the new generation understand.
Yeah, how shit it was.
Yeah, or understand like what's involved and everything. You don't just turn up and start, being the foreman. Like it all just starts at the bottom, and that's what it is, and that's how it was for me. And you spent your years doing it, and you work your way up. And I think I learned more after I finished my apprenticeship than I did.
Everyone says, eh?
Yeah. And it was like sink or swim. It was like you either do it right or it's costing you money. So that's how I learned.
Do you try and make a good kind of company culture at work now? Because obviously you've been through a few companies, and you're sure I had a shit time here, shit time there, and
I try and make it a fun time. It's we're not there doing like team building classes and breathing exercises.
It's just building at the end of the day.
Yeah. But like, we're there, we have a laugh. It's it's fun. Mate. Like I don't see myself as a boss.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like you don't come across like that kind of guy, which is good.
No.
And I hate that hierarchy shit as well.
Yeah.
I'm not about it because I'm like, at the end of the day, if people don't enjoy working with you, they're just going to fuck off anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And like one of the boys had been with us for like 5 years. So, it's like, and most people, they stay around like, the 18 months at least.
Yeah, good.
Before they, life takes them elsewhere or whatever else happens.
Do the boys give you shit now and call you like an influencer and that, doing stuff like this? Yeah. Yes. That's good chat, man. I love that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they all listen to it and like, oh, especially Kevin, who was like, "You talking about me?" I was like, "Yeah, I spoke about you. I spoke about you." But yeah, it's definitely a different little, left turn. There's like podcasting stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting business, man.
Yeah.
Do you and your partner take much time off every year? Do you guys get away, go on holiday?
We do a lot. We do get to New Zealand a lot. Her parents are over there.
Awesome.
So we probably get over there every 6 to 9 months for 10 days at a time.
Yeah.
I recently just got back from Italy.
Nice.
Did like a 9-day jaunt there for a mate's wedding. So,
sick.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It was pretty.
Have you been to Europe before, or was that your first time?
Yeah, I'd been. That's the 3rd time.
Had you been to Italy prior?
I'd been to like Naples before, but we did like hadn't got to Rome, so we did like London, Athens, Rome, and then.
What time of year did you go there?
What was it like just early September?
Fuck, was it? They don't have heat waves at that time, eh?
No,
everyone looks like they're dying in June, July.
It was. I think the day before we got there, both in like Rome and Athens, it like flash flooded. So no, the weather was beautiful. And then we went down to Amalfi for a wedding, and flew back. So
that's good.
Quick little trip over there.
What's like good advice that you've had from people? Do you have like a mentor or business coach or anyone that kind of helps you with stuff if you feel like you're stuck, or
Not like a coach. I've got like 2 or 3 good mates who are builders, and driving in the car in the morning, 5:45 a.m., you ring up one of the boys and just chat shit until you get to work and talk about their day, what they're doing, we just kind of bounce ideas of each other, or if one of the boys need a hand, like you swing over there and suss it out and help each other out.
It's always interesting to know, because obviously getting into any business can be hard. I think building's probably one of the hardest ones.
100%.
So reliant on other people and trusting other people to do shit properly. So I'm just
back on you. That's the big thing.
I just know it's stressful and it's like painfully grueling at times.
I don't think a lot of people could do it.
Yeah.
Like, carpenters like, oh, you got it easy, but get in my shoes and see what a day's like, and listen to those phone calls on a Sunday night when someone's like, freaking out about something like that, and you've got to like manage everyone, and I'm sick because of this, or I'm doing that. It's all that employee management, and then like even just like financing the whole thing, like making sure that you've put in those stage payments right. That will fund you the entire time. Like just managing, that's one of the hardest things I find.
Well, you need to know the numbers.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I feel like that's the hardest thing to let go of.
Yeah. And I can, you break the job down, know where it's, where you can stage it, to get, the most viable, I guess, financing along the way. So, you could tell someone, here you go, break it down. Like, next minute you're 6 weeks between stage payments because they've just done, this. So.
Are you quite sort of like ruthless on back costing or tracking sort of where your costs go in that? On your fixed price stuff?
Hazel, my partner, she'll do up all the spreadsheets and all that stuff like that. And she'll be, we'll sit down on a Friday afternoon and go, right, what did you spend here, there, what's going on this week? Who have you had on site?
Yeah.
So she's really good across that. Like, I guess if I didn't have her, I'd be like, yeah, we're good.
Fucking oath, we're good. And then you're like, why am I negative $340 this week?
Pretty much. But like it does get tight. Like that cost plus job, they went 4 weeks without, because I usually send an invoice every week, just to stay on top of things.
100%. You don't want to let that shit fly.
No, 100%. And
I think it's easier for a client to pay a $10,000 invoice after 1 week, say, $40,000.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly. But just recently, they went 4 weeks without paying because they were working to get more finances out of their other properties or investments or whatever it was. And I do find that sometimes people just treat you like a bank, and they're like, "Yeah, you'll be sweet."
The builder will hold the cost.
It was like $98,000 by the end.
Yeah, shit.
And that was like
tough phone call to get that, or
no, it was fine. It was fine. I knew it was coming, but like you got to tell all your boys under you, going, "Oh, look, man, I haven't got
any money,
all this money," because doing that cost plus job has changed my financials completely because
you're getting paid every week.
Yeah, you get paid every week, and that in that week that money's gone because it goes to every other trade or whatever, and you've got your little bit. Yeah, and that's it. And then
I truly think cost plus is and isn't the safest way. I think it is the safest way to do business. I think if you can monitor and manage fixed price really, really well, that's where you can make really good coin.
Oh, exactly.
But the cost plus stuff is a very, very good way, and it's low stress to have weekly cash flow.
Exactly.
And you're charging X and you're paying Y. Like, it's very clear.
It was just so funny, doing it how it has, because beforehand you had revisions, you had this, you had that, it was already there, and you had not like a slush fund, but you had the funds there to cover yourself for those weeks. Whereas this is I haven't got the funds, 4 weeks later, some of those invoices, some of the jobs, there was 21 grand for the painter, this and that. You haven't got that just sitting there
lying around. Yeah.
So that was tough to manage.
Can I ask a personal financial question? Because I talked to this about a few people. I pay all my tax weekly. How do you pay your taxes? Because tax catch quarterly.
Yeah.
So you just put it in a
just put it aside.
Fair play.
Pay it quarterly.
I used to save it, pay it 6 monthly, and then I can say this because I pay all my tax now. But I had a huge chunks in there, and I bought a ton of Bitcoin. And I was like, I'm just going to sell this when it goes, and I'll pay my tax, and I'll keep the profit. And then, I haven't sold it. But now,
I was going to say that surpassed $100,000 yesterday. You should be laughing.
Oh, I will be laughing soon. But I was a big believer on keep as much money in your bank, gain interest money. But sometimes now I'm just like, I'd rather just know exactly what is mine, and I just pay all my tax weekly now. Yep. But everyone's different. I'm just interested to.
I just do what I'm told.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything that you splurge on, luxurious spending, or are you a pretty simple, chill guy?
The only thing, I will die on this hill. I will have a hot lunch every single day. I never bring lunch.
Favorite hot lunch?
Oh, whatever, like a steak works, burger and chips. Like
No way.
I will never.
That's your non-negotiable.
Yeah, I will never not have a hot lunch. Like, yeah, you see guys with like their little cold horn sandwich, and I'm like,
No.
I got zero interest in that.
Okay.
I don't have like those, those extracurricular things that are expensive that people do just blow their money on.
Understood.
But yeah, I think food is probably like,
hot lunch, man. That's your thing.
Yeah, hot lunch and like, a nice dinner every now and again, and like, the money there too, to drop everything and go to Italy.
When you fly overseas, what class do you fly in?
Oh, just economy.
Do you pay extra for a front seat?
Nah.
Fuck, man.
Because I was flying over by myself. The trip just gone. I was on the Qatar website, like constantly looking to see how the flight was filling up and like moving my seat to make sure that I could get, because I can't sleep on planes. And so I was just trying.
Sleeping pill?
No, I just can't do it. So I was trying to like get myself to a point where I could get either like 2 seats to myself or an aisle or something like that. And that flight was completely booked apart from the seat next to me.
Nice, man.
But yeah, like on the way back, I think I slept 2 hours over like 32 hours. So yeah, I just can't do long haul flights, can't sleep, and I just stay awake and just watch movies or whatever else. Go through my phone deleting photos of just
man. Yeah, my brain goes into overthink mode because I'm not doing anything, and then I come out with like 50 new ideas of things I want to do. That's just me.
Well, that's probably be handy. I'd probably like that, brain. Because,
man. I should start posting those actually on a blog. I reckon that'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have any like outside interest? Do you ever think, if I wasn't building, is there ever something you wanted to go and do?
More traveling.
Yeah, but you hate long haul flight, like short. Yeah,
oh, that's fine. I could do it
once you get
if
there.
I know I'm going somewhere cool. Like, I could sit and do nothing for 19 hours if I know I'm going somewhere sweet.
Nice. And your partner's the same? She would.
Hazel hasn't gone. She hasn't gone to Europe or anything like that yet. So that's like one of our things for our 40th. We're going to go over and do a big trip with the family. So that'd be cool. But like she's interested in traveling. It just hasn't happened.
Nice.
Where I did a lot when I was younger.
Cool.
So I just had a bad day at work and I was like, fuck this, I'm going.
Do you ever look at other like interests or business ideas that might interest you or stuff? Or you're always just,
I think we're like where we are now, like after the house is finished, we've got like plans, like 5-year plan to like, buy another business and go into that little area.
Anything like industry specific?
Probably still in construction.
Nice.
We're thinking like a cabinet making business or something like that. Just something
small, like
something
cool,
like that, and just branch out into that. Let someone else run it, you just have it, kind of thing, and
franchise model of some sort, maybe
something like that. But
cool.
Like I said, Hazel crunches the numbers. She works.
Yeah. You would have said, I'll fucking build them, man. Easy.
Yeah. Like ideally, like I'd just love to, if I could just develop and just make money from that and not have to, have a client.
That's every builder's dream.
Yeah,
man.
like that would be ideal. What I'd love to do.
I'm always just interested to see what other outside interests are. What goes on.
No, I'm a super boring person.
Yeah, nah, man. I mean,
my hobbies and interests are probably just work and the family, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that gets to a lot of people though. Like when they have, I don't have a family yet, but I believe it's very important for a lot of people. So, your priorities would change.
100%. Yeah. It's when it happens, you're just like, oh wow, this is really cool.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say? You're more than happy to plug your company here, man. If people are looking to work for you. Jobs,
if anyone else wants to work for me, that'd be great.
Yeah. Do you need more staff at the moment?
Always.
Yeah. Are you always hiring or always looking?
Just always looking. Yeah. Like, because there's always work.
Yeah, man.
Like,
could you, if you had 2 more builders right now, you could fill them up for?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shit, man.
Easy.
Shout out. We'll plug that out on a thumbnail and we'll get it live on IG for you.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Cool, man. Thanks very much for coming in, bro.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Awesome.
Cheers.